Hello and welcome to The Forge for June 2025. My name is Phil Hall. I'm the Divisional Director of Mission and Spiritual Development for the Indiana Division, and I work on The Forge material every month. We have been studying different kinds of spiritual disciplines throughout 2025, and this month we are finishing the second part of our focus on our personal devotion and prayer time. If you haven't done the study on devotion from May, you should probably start there first before proceeding with this study. The two go hand in hand. When I hear the word prayer, the first thing that pops into my mind are my grandparents. I'm lucky enough to be born into a family with 4 God-loving prayer warriors for grandparents. My 92-year-old grandfather is the only one who is still living, and it's one of my favorite things to get to pray with him whenever we visit or at the end of every phone conversation. My grandfather had a health scare recently, and it looked for a while like he wasn't going to make it. When he thought he only had a few hours left on the earth, his biggest priority was to call the entire family to say goodbye and pray a blessing over each one of us. Talk about having the discipline of prayer deeply embedded in your heart. In Ephesians 6:18, the Apostle Paul wrote, "Pray in the Spirit at all times and on every occasion. Stay alert and be persistent in your prayers for all believers everywhere." There is no circumstance or situation where prayer isn't necessary. When I was a kid, I always thought my mom prayed too much. She would pray for situations I thought God wouldn't care about. She'd pray for God to give her a good parking spot at the grocery store. I grew up thinking that she prayed too much, but as I've gotten older, I realized that I prayed too little. There is power in prayer. We hear it all the time, but it doesn't make it any less true. Bringing our concerns and our requests to the feet of God is a privilege that we have as children of God. And we are so fortunate that the God who created the universe listens to our prayers and cares enough to answer us. So we're going to spend the rest of our time looking at the elements necessary to practice the discipline of prayer and to experience its power. First is the prayer list. Essential to our effective petitionary prayer is a prayer list. It's pretty common for the mind to wander as we pray. The list can help bring us back to the things that we need to be focused on. When we are prone to distraction, we can keep our eyes and maybe a finger on the list to help keep our attention where it belongs. Every Christian man should have a prayer list which lists, among other things, the names of his family and, if married, spouse and children. Moreover, the list ought to be detailed, featuring personal items under the names of those closest to him. If you do not have a prayer list, start small. Simply list the relationships and matters most important to you on a 3x5 card. Add a few specifics under the names and put it in your wallet for daily reference. I guarantee that if you use it, it will greatly enhance your prayer life. Next, you need some quiet. I am well aware that quiet is a relative term in today's world where there is virtually no silence. Many of us never experience silence during our waking hours. What is more, the occasional silence we do encounter can be distracting because it heightens other distracting noises. Trappist monk Thomas Merton tells how in the deep quietness of a monastery, a cough repeated at predictable intervals can destroy every possibility of collected thought. Silence is sometimes louder than the noise you are trying to ignore, so you need to choose the situation that works best for you. It may be dominated by road noise, but if that is the atmosphere you need to concentrate, use it. Along with finding some quiet, you must find a place where you will not be disturbed. You should have plenty of options to choose from. Maybe a chair in a corner of your house that you know will be uninterrupted for a while. Maybe you can go to a peaceful spot in a local park. Maybe you can visit a nearby church that has an always open sanctuary where you can sit and pray. Maybe it's just sitting in your car in a random shopping center in your neighborhood. Wherever it is, God is waiting to meet you there. It's important to give our best time to prayer. Rarely is that the time just before going to bed. One's last waking moment should never be given to powerful intercessory prayer, except perhaps for students who have a final exam in the morning. Other people may struggle to be fully awake and engaged first thing in the morning. But here Jesus' habit is instructive. Very early in the morning, while it was still dark, Jesus got up, left the house, and went off to a solitary place where he prayed. The early bird gets prime time. The real question for you is, when is your best time? For some, it may be at lunch or before dinner. Honestly, my best prayer time is usually when I'm in the shower in the morning. By that point, I've had some time to wake up and get my mind engaged. Then I have a stretch of time where I'm not going to be interrupted, and there isn't the lure of a lot of distractions to cause my mind to wander. There's a story about a certain man who could not find the right posture for prayer. He tried praying on his knees, but that was not comfortable. Besides, it wrinkled his slacks. He tried praying standing, but soon his legs got tired. He tried praying seated, but that did not seem reverent. Then one day, as he was walking through an open field, he fell headfirst into an open well. And did he ever pray? Seriously, though, one's prayer posture can make a difference. While the scriptures mention numerous postures for prayer, none is prescribed. What is important is that your posture enhance your reverent attention. As to preparation for prayer, honest practicality is of greatest importance. Sometimes a man needs a shower and a shave. If you're into coffee like I am, a good cup of coffee may be needed before prayer begins. Again, it's not the physical details that are of prime importance, but the condition and stance of the heart. Whatever helps you focus on the Lord, use it. Often the best prayers are short and passionate. Martin Luther himself said, "Look to it that you do not try to do all of it. Do not try to do too much, lest your spirit grow weary." Besides, a good prayer mustn't be too long. Do not draw it out. Prayer ought to be frequent and fervent. A legalistic commitment to duration can kill one's prayer life. The practice of prayer, the list, the quiet, the place, the time, the posture, preparation, and the length all suggest one thing: discipline. Prayer is work, not a sport. It's not something that you do if you like it, or to devote your spare time to, or do only if you're good at it. Remember Ephesians 6:18. Pray in the Spirit at all times and on every occasion. Stay alert and be persistent in your prayers for all believers everywhere. We must never wait until we feel like praying. Otherwise, we may never pray, unless perhaps we fall headfirst into an open well. The context of Paul's charge in Ephesians 6 is spiritual warfare, and that is what prayer is. Christian men face the world and fall on their knees. This understood, we must also understand that we must not overcommit ourselves especially if we are just beginning. Better to commit yourself to a total of 15 minutes and maintain it, with perhaps 5 minutes of Bible reading, 5 minutes of meditation, and 5 minutes of disciplined prayer. A regular time of devotion and prayer will become a habit, and the habit of prayer will give wings to your spiritual life.